Your Majesties, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for always returning. Thank you so much for your show of love. Thank you so much for sharing our videos, for giving our videos thumbs up, and which I'm trying to say right now. Just give this video a thumbs up right now. All right. Thank you so much for all that you do for this community to keep growing. Hope you're well in all your ways and you're loving yourself and others like always, and you're living your life according to your way, and you've been fulfilled, Your Majesties. It is important that you are fulfilled. Now we're here to talk about the Bible before the Bible. What was the Bible before what we have today? That's what we are here to talk about. Do you know why it is good to go back? When you begin to go back, then you begin to see the level of the hard work that have been done to our history. Because when you talk about the melanated history, you talk about the history of the whole world. There are a group of people that have decided to distort our history, to turn our history the other way around, to scatter our history, to make our history in a way that we will not even understand ourselves. All these are done for a purpose. If you have been following me for some time, you will understand why these things are done. Alright, the colonizers put themselves in our scripture. I keep saying this, the Bible was our property that was taken away, and they removed us and put themselves in it. Hence, we have a white Yeshua. Hence, we have a Eurocentric ideas in the Bible. It was never like that from the beginning. When they took it from here and took it to themselves there, they removed us. They removed their ancestors. What was black became white. The paintings that were black, that were there as histories for us to see, they changed it and made them white. These things were done deliberately. And there are people who are in charge of religions in the whole world that knew these things, that still know these things, that still have the originals in their archives, that they wouldn't want to just bring it out. Alright, now when they put themselves into our scriptures, they used this same scripture to conquer our minds and put us under them, and that is why we are slaves even up until today. That is why there is self-hate even up until today, because we don't look at each other as we should look at each other anymore. It's not about looking at ourselves anymore. It's about anything that is white is godly. Anything that is white is beautiful. Anything that is white is of the Creator. But when it comes to the color of you and me, you look at it with contempt. Alright? These are strategies. All the self-hate they create in our minds, in our heads, are strategies. And that is why you see, we in our cable lands, we always want to aspire to get things that were made in Europe and America, because we have seen ourselves as inferior ones. All these are strategies, and all this came through the Bible. All this came through the scripture. Because like I told you, when they came in the first time, they saw that we were a system of people. We had a spiritual system that was already organized. They knew that they cannot break us as they want to. They knew that we have technologies. They knew that most of these things, they came and stole it. They knew that they can't just come to us and begin to say things because we already knew. And that is why they took our scripture, they went back and used the spirituality and turned it the other way around and came back with it to deceive our ancestors. And that was the beginning of our downfall as a people. Alright, let's take a look at this.
These are very important documents. Look, the binding, book binding in Ethiopia. The cover, wooden board cover, as you see. Everything is made at home. So, this is 15th century manuscripts. Sometimes, it's amazing that, people in the 15th century, where they aware of color. All the saints, even the Virgin, is painted black. Today, even today, you don't find such paintings in churches. Always, a bright color, not black color. So it has to be studied very, very well. This type of documents. Look, even the evangelist. This is Matthew. And the harag or the decorations, all this, And as I told you at the beginning, piece of cloth to cover. It is cotton made. Huh? This is, homemade clothes. So they protect it not to be destroyed, the painting. So this technology, look, this different science. This is, in different places. The full stops, the title of the book. And the numbers even, what we see today and in the 15th century, they are different. The transformation, it has already changed. So these are very important to study, as I told you, different disciplines. The language and linguistics. The paleography, the calligraphy, the paleography. Look, the position of these, all the ma and the sa, all this, the ha, all these are completely different from today's, Ethiopian language. So this is very important for paleographical study, very important for art history, very important, as I told you, for sociology and anthropology. So that is why this is a mining house. That is why I say that this is a mining house where we can dig, a lot of information from all these original sources. So this is very important manuscript, and then it is restored by an Italian expert, Carla Zanotti, almost 8 years ago. So this is one of our documents. As I told you, this is of course this is religious, as I told you, but it has also another information here, as I told you, colophons or marginal notes. This is, for example, this is Asmat prayer. So to protect the owner of the book from different things, or to protect his animals not to be eaten by wild animals like hyena. Huh? They call it mastagert. Look, this, harag, or decorative design. So this is the beginning of another book, that is the book of Mark, the evangelist Mark. So in every chapter they design or they put such harags to indicate where it begins the other book. So this is it. If we see, if we see this type of manuscript, as I told you, there are so much concerned about these documents, about this very valuable materials. They cover it first with, as I told you, it is covered with wood, and the wood is covered by another, soft leather, and even for decoration, look, it is covered, inside it is wood. After the wood there is a cover of cloth. These clothes also one has to study. The clothes which we have seen in this book and this are completely different. It shows that this is earlier and this is later. So this was imported, clothes. So which type of clothes from which place, that will indicate, And then this is, we call it Morocco leather, or the Tambe leather, because it is soft, to cover it. And then all the design, look here, this is a cross, this is a cross. All the design was designed by the scribe. It has its own, the scribe has his own instruments for making all these, designs, decorations, and even, the binding materials, complete material. From skin, that means from the skin of a goat, to a book, they have complete, materials for making them. Not only these decorative materials, writing materials, not only the writing materials, the, the inks, different types of inks, they prepare themselves in the local area, from soil, plants, leaves, fruits, and different types of materials. The colors they want, whether it be yellow, green, red, they can make it. So all these are prepared in the local area. This is late 17th century manuscript, as you see. This manuscript is also painted, and covered with this piece of cloth. This is Saint Raphael, not Raphael, Raphael, yes, Saint Raphael. These are, the lives of different, good men, protected by, Raphael, and he is holding them in his wings. These are two wings, So, and look the difference between this harag and the previous harag. So, the style, the painting, the decorative design and the illuminations, they have their own style in every century, so that one can study these different styles. Different. Look, this is King David. The servants are standing by, and then not only that, they have what we call it chira, to protect flies from the king. They hold here, and look, not only they hold chiras, but they have combs in their hair, hairstyle. Look, they have combs, and the crown of the king, typical Ethiopian type of crown, and debab, we call it, this debab is big umbrella, and seated king. So as I told you, look how they dressed, So this is very important for sociology and anthropology, to study them. And this is a saint, Look, the difference between this clothes and that clothes, This type of, clothes were not prepared in Ethiopia. There were no, industries at that time. So these are imported, clothes. So from which? From East, from West, from Europe, from where? So it will lead you, or it makes you to do a research on these different materials. As I told you, these are very important for different studies. For example, if we see here, these are two religious fathers, Ethiopian, there is also two schools of thought in Ethiopian. So Abuna Eustathios and Abuna Tekla Haymanot are the two religious fathers of these two schools. So the followers of Eustathios and the followers of Tekla Haymanot. So still this practice continues in different parts in this religion. So look, this harag, this is completely different from the other one. This one is with eyes. The other one, So the beginning of the this is image or salam, and then look this piece.
Majesties, I hope we got that. For the fact that they came and took this scripture and went with it. Alright, when they were going to study it, it was still same color. But later on, when they wanted to come to manipulate, they had to change it to their own color. Because of course, it's like they are bringing something new to us. They changed everything, Your Majesties. They changed everything. They are aware of it from the beginning. Like what he was saying, that most of those clothes they used, some of them, the other one was the original one, the first one, then the later one, some of those clothes were imported clothes. Alright, and if it was imported either from the West, from Europe or wherever, then these people originally knew that these people were melanated people, and this property is a property of the melanated people. But along the line, when they started planning how to come and invade and steal our resources and our people as slaves, they decided to repaint everything into a white picture and changed everything that was there to suit them and their own right to come and lord it on our people. These are all seen in the supremacist whole ideology of control.